which came out in December. I wrote this book because I felt that there was a gap. There was a gap in the information that was available for people going to Venezuela. I'd used all the books that were available, and I've been to a lot of places that weren't in the books. And I felt it was time that if I could, and I had the opportunity, then I would try and fill in those gaps and make those places available to more people. So the whole point of the guide really was to prepare anybody who wanted to go to Venezuela with the information that they needed and the tools that they needed to be able to get around this incredibly fascinating but incredibly vast country and be able to experience it the way that I have over the last 20 or 25 years. So I started from the standpoint of what did I know about Venezuela when I first went there. I went to Venezuela first of all in 1989, and to be honest, I didn't know anything about Venezuela. It has more Caribbean than anywhere else in the Caribbean. It has more beaches, it has more islands, and it has more to offer in terms of sun, sea and sand than anywhere else in the Caribbean, just in terms of the size. So that's an important thing to take into account. Very often we think of Venezuela in terms of specific things, and we'll talk about some of those things as we go through the tour. But Venezuela is very diverse, a lot of things to see. Okay, as I was saying, the population is 26 million, that's an old figure, it could be 28 in a valley 1,000 metres above sea level. It has a beautiful year-round climate, and it also has the benefit of having this huge mountain which rises 2,400 metres above sea level, above the city. So you're never more than a few minutes or half an hour from the Eucharist. The priest will hold aloft the Eucharist in front of his church. The devils will be vanquished by it and they will fall to the ground. And then they will try again. 3 times they will try and storm the church. 3 times the priest will hold them back with the Eucharist. It's a bit like the Exorcist. He holds it up, they prostrate themselves on the ground. And then finally, God's won. The devils take their masks off, and the party starts. Next to Pico Humboldt, the Teleférico, the cable car in Venezuela, isn't functioning at the moment, but it is on track to be working very soon. So we're hoping in the next 5-6 months that it should be getting towards completion, because it's very advanced to work on that. So wherever you are in Merida, you've got the mountains in front of you, and it's a great place to get a bit of fresh air after the sea. These are frailejones when they're in flower. They can grow very, very tall. They're called frailejones because a fraile is a friar, like Friar Tuck. Fine to do the trek up to Roraima. It's not mountaineering. It's not something that should put you off. On this trip that I went, this is last year, there was a group coming down when I was coming up, and in that group, they were all from England, not one of them was under 60. 17 people. They all made it up, they all made it down. They looked a bit tired, but they had a lovely time, and they'd never forget it, they said. But this is Roraima. Roraima is one of the most spectacular and iconic places that you can go to in Venezuela, because you have these flat-top mountains called tepuis. Now, they're called tepui because the Pemon Indians who live in this area, for them tepui is the word for house. They will still call their house a tepui. But the greater extension of tepui, if it's a house, it's the house of a man, but it's also the house of a god. And so the idea was that the tepui were where the gods lived. And the Pemon did not like to go up there, because they believed that the gods could be angry, because if you look across the savannah, this is flat savannah mainly, it's only broken by the mountains and a few moriche palms. As you can see, the clouds form on top of the mountains. Very often you'll see lightning and you'll see storms. Okay. And then Victor takes us out and he says, listen, I've got this friend. You've got to meet my friend. She's a lovely old girl and she's so sweet and calm. Okay, Victor, come and take us to see your old friend. So he takes us out and he says, oh, but there we go. And it's the biggest caiman in Atlas today. This caiman is immense. I mean, it's from here to the door. That's how big it is. Its head is enormous. And we're in a little canoe. So Victor says, oh, let's just row a bit closer, because I want you to get a good photo. Oh, okay, you can lean over